What's wrong?
Something feels really strange. I'm sure I don't know this place, but it's starting to feel like it's familiar to me.
You must have come here sometime before.
No, and that's what's strange.
It could be like with Nominee. You forgot lots of other stuff, and that's why you remember this place now.
No, it's different. With Nominee, my memories sort of came drifting back to me, a little piece at a time. But not now. It's not memories, just this idea that I must have been here before.
So, feeling nostalgic? Sora, a question then for you. Your memories of Nominee or your feelings here? Which of the two of these is more real, I wonder?
Nominee, of course. Whatever it is that I'm feeling, I bet it's just another one of your mean little tricks.
The memory's wiles can be cruel. In its silence, we forget. In its obsession, it binds our hearts.
Cut the riddles!
I told you. This place was created solely from another side of your memory. It is on the other side of your heart that the memory of this place exists. It is your heart that remembers.
You're wrong! I don't know this place!
If you remain bound by the chain of memories and refuse to believe what is truly found inside your heart, then throw it away. You are not a Keyblade master, just a slave to twisted memories. Yes, exactly like my Riku. Your existence is worth nothing!
Like your Riku? Worth nothing? That's enough! You're the one who changed Riku! Every word you've said is a lie! I'd never throw away my heart! I'm gonna take you down and save Riku and Nominee! That's what's in my heart! This is it! This is it!
Taste!
Yeah!
Here you go!
This is it!
You imbecile!
Heal! There!
I shall freeze you!
Back off! Guilty!
Loyal!
Here you go!
Yeah!
Here you go!
Power!
You're pushing it! Here you go!
Yeah, heal! Heal! This is it! Back off!
go. You imbecile!
This is it! Yeah! Heal!
I shall... Here you go.
Yeah!
Taste this! You're pushing it.
Heal!
I've had enough of this! Shatter!
Back off!
Here you go.
Back off! Yeah!
You are just an experiment.
This is it!
Come to me, Ice Blade.
Yeah!
You're too much trouble.
Yeah!
Taste this! You are pushing it. Come to me, Ice Blade. Here you go. Away you go! You imbecile! Come to me, Ice Blade! Shatter!
Heal!
You are pushing it!
Yeah! This is it!
Come to me, Ice Blade! Here you go! Away you go! You imbecile! Taste this! Come to me, Ice Blade! Shatter! Taste this! No good! You are pushing it! You are pushing it!
Yeah! Heal!
Come to me, Ice Blade!
This is it!
Courage! You imbecile! Here you go! Come to me!
Back off! Heal! This is it! Yeah! This is it! Yeah, heal! You're pushing it!
Come to me. Taste this.
This is it!
You have such strength, even at the mercy of your memory.
None of that matters. Just put Riku back!
Just put him back. The Riku you speak of has but one fate, to sink into the darkness, and you will share that fate, Sora. If you continue to seek the girl Naminé, the shackles will tighten. You'll lose your heart and end up becoming Marluxia's pawn.
Marluxia? What does Naminé have to do with... Ugh. Axel!
Yo, Sora! Did I catch you at a bad time?
Axel, why?
I came to stop you from talking too much. By eliminating your existence.
No, don't do it!
We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are. But now you can be nothing instead of just being a nobody. You're off the hook.
No! Please don't! I don't want to...
Goodbye.
What are you? What are you people?
Don't know. I wonder about that myself.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review that we don't do as much as we used to on these boss fights. And as you can tell, there's probably a decent reason why we don't do as much as we did, and that's just because there's not as many interesting to talk about. But Vexen was a little bit on the fence for me, and I ended up wanting to talk about it anyway, so here we are. The main reason I wanted to talk about Vexen is because what happened to Vexen was kind of the first point where I started figuring out that I really did like Chain of Memories for what it was doing to the story, and I did like the character Vexen because he started characterizing the Organization 13 and all of its members in a very interesting way in these side stories that made them so much better in the games that ended up following up. And that's because Vexen is a douchebag. He's completely 100% self-righteous about everything, thinks everyone else is an idiot, and thereby he's a complete chump and a joke. He is probably the lowest member on the rung of the ladders that make up the organization, and is constantly underestimated by the people that he works with. And he's also got this scientific prowess behind him. He's supposed to be building all of the new innovations for the organization to help in their plans. So it was a really good mix of characteristics that made up Vexen that ended up playing into the moment when he was killed by the organization, by Axel specifically, because Axel is being used by Marluxia to be kind of his covert ops guy. He's supposed to be doing the dirty work under the noses of the organization, for the things that need to happen in order to make everyone stronger, which is why Axel is the one that ultimately kills Vexen, because he's a complete liability. He's so self-righteous and thinks he's above everyone else that he's falling easily into traps where he's revealing too much information on his own terms because he knows too much, and that's what made him dangerous to the organization, which is why they ended up killing him, which was a huge moment for Chain of Memories, and ultimately the series in general. This idea that the organization has inner betrayals, and they aren't all working towards one singular goal. They don't have one singular mindset, and they're all different characters working with and against each other depending on the situation, which makes Vexen so much more important for why Chain of Memories is such a good game in the series. It sets up so much interesting stuff that gets paid off in later games that really makes Chain of Memories a vital game that you need to play. And then on top of that, Vexen, ironically for being such a chump and for such a low-tier villain of the roster of the organization, he's tough as frickin' nails. I think this was the boss fight that finally made me start finding the game-breaking combos just so I could get through him, because he can throw a goddamn punch like nobody else. And finally, I did discover the Sonic Blade and ended up just cleaving through the rest of the game, even though I think this is pretty much the end of the Sora story, so I guess it ultimately didn't really matter what happened after this, because we're basically at the end of the game already, so yeah, that's why Vexen is such a super interesting boss, is because he's not just the typical, oh, there's a big thing over there that's completely over-designed bosses that Kingdom Hearts usually does. He's a character, he's a person, and he's a plot point for the organization's development as a character, and for some of the arcs of the other villains that showed up to Castle Oblivion. I am really glad I was able to talk through most of that. I won't have to actually edit it all that much, but that's what I really wanted to say, is because people always talk down Kingdom Hearts, and it's because, oh, they think it's gibberish, they think the story is completely over the top and way too into itself and things like that, and these are the moments that really start kind of ripping away that pretense, that incorrect assumption, because all they've seen and all they've played are the main games, where the side stuff is really what ends up backing up the series and building up all these plot points to end up making something that's actually really narratively interesting. So yeah, Vexen's two bosses in this game are really super important. They're very interesting, and it really is one of the highlights of the bosses in the series in general, just for what they did to put his place in the plot, to kind of develop things forward. And I really did appreciate it, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because it does do so much interesting that plays into the rest of the series as it continues from this point forward.